Hey, what up everybody, I'm Cynical, and this is Dark Souls Remastered on PS4.
Oh, hello there. I'm pleased to see you safe. As always, if you provide the materials, I can teach you pyromancy.
I'm gonna talk to this guy real
My
quick.
teacher, whom I imagine still resides in the Great Swamp, had a funny way of putting it. He said that pyromancy is the ultimate fantasy. We are born into dark and warmed by fire, but this fire we cannot touch. Those whose fascination with fire persists learn to hold it in their own hand. He rather had a way with words, the old withering frog.
So we're gonna be a pyromancer, so we want to hear this stuff.
Pyromancers earn a certain respect. The Witch of Izalith, one of the legendary lords, is the godmother of pyromancy. So the day I became undead, I was ecstatic. I felt as if I'd been chosen to attune myself to the ancient arts. Of course, it wasn't all that romantic in the end. A pyromancer's flame is a...
Now we've heard this part before. There's gonna be a cut coming up in 10 seconds or so, because I just looked around to see if anybody else was here and if they said anything new, and they didn't. So I didn't think you wanted to see that part. Just me running around seeing if people say anything new, and they don't. So there's the cut. That guy don't say anything new. The sorcerer won't talk to us till we get more intelligence. Domhnall hasn't moved yet. I checked on that. This lady doesn't say anything yet, the firekeeper. So just cut that part out, because I was over by like a minute, and like I've told y'all before, I can only do 60 minutes on my editing software for whatever reason. Maybe there's a way around it. Put it in the comments if there is. I mean, I don't know. If there's a simple answer that you can write me in a comment real fast, then let me know. But if it takes a long time and you gotta teach me things, then hopefully I'll learn it myself gradually. But anyway, gonna check down here because I want to upgrade my weapon, but I was hoping not to have to go all the way to Andre. So, and maybe this guy will say some new stuff.
Hey, hang on. Is that an ember? Oh, I'm sorry. We at Vinheim don't deal in shoddy embers like that. Perhaps she's trying old Smith out in the country.
He's talking about the large ember that we got from the depths where the butchers were. You give that to Andre, not this guy. And then he'll be able to upgrade you to +10, I think. Went ahead and upgraded the Great Scythe. I could only do it once, because this guy doesn't sell Titanite shards, which you need to, is the upgrade material resource. So he only sells like early sorcery.
Of course I've heard of it. Who hasn't in Vinheim? He was a royal member of Dragon School until he turned undead. I hear he was quite the character. Only that was 100 years ago. What interest have you in the old eccentric now?
I don't know. I don't even know how I even heard about him.
Sorcery? Don't ask me how it actually works. We only fiddle and forge until it works itself in. That's how we do it in Vinheim. We prefer to leave the theorizing to those uppity scholars.
Oh, I know how. Never mind.
What is it? There's nothing to talk about.
He said this part before.
But what's there really to moan about?
I can't remember his name. The guy up by the bonfire. Man, he has a name. I'm gonna have to look that up. But he keeps commenting on everybody coming back to the Firelink Shrine. Well, he commented on Rickert coming back to Firelink Shrine and said something about old Big Hat. So that's where we get it from, I guess. So we're asking this guy. Or isn't that guy's name's Rickert? Never mind. You know who I'm talking about, the sorcerer. I need to go look up all their names and memorize them again. It's been so long. Like, it's been 5 years since I've played this. Like, I know Andre, obviously, because he's in Dark Souls 3 and this game. Malincha, Petrus, Lautrec, Laurentius. He's just little Big Hat Logan's little scholar dude, student guy. Since he's there now, the depressed undead guy starts talking about Big Hat Logan, who is his mentor. We still can't talk to this guy. We need one more intelligence, I think. We gotta put 1 point in intelligence, which I'm gonna do just to get the dialogues, and who knows what else. I think I'm gonna go with pyromancy, but we might want to get like 1 sorcery to light up, you know, Tomb of the Kings and use as a light source. We may need like 1 sorcery here, 1 miracle there, and then go all full in on pyromancy. Which I need to maybe look that up too, because there's one of the sisters of Chaos. She, I think, is invisible right now in Blighttown. So we gotta figure out how to make her appear so we can get the higher level pyromancies. But I think it's not anytime soon. Like, we need to level up our pyromancy glove, buy a bunch of the other pyromancies, start using it, and it's gonna be a little while. Once our glove's fully powered up and we're using and we have a lot of spells, like, it's time to go looking for that. But I ended up going to Andre anyway.
Why, that's a fine ember you have there. I could smith some mighty weapons with one of those. Why not lend it to me?
And you might as well say yes.
Magnificent! You won't be disappointed. I can hardly wait to get started.
You can say no just to get the extra dialogue. He's like, oh really? Well, I'm disappointed or something. And then you can give it to him. Still. So buying some Titanite shards. I couldn't do that at the other blacksmith, so I had to come over here. Plus I wanted to give him the shard, or the ember. Once I went to the other blacksmith, he could only upgrade me once, and said something about the ember. Then I was like, well, I guess it's worth going over to old Andre. It's not that far since we got the shortcut. Not a very exciting beginning of a video, but I did cut out even more, like a minute more of this boring. So hopefully you appreciate that. I probably would have left it in if I didn't go over, though, because I like leaving everything in, just so you can see that I didn't die or something, or, you know, lose a bunch of souls, or get frustrated or anything. I mean, it's at the beginning of the video, and it's in the Firelink Shrine. I'm sure you understand. Might as well buy this weapon smith box and armor smith box. That way we can upgrade at least a little bit at other bonfires instead of coming all the way back to him. But you do need the resources, and you can't upgrade past a certain point, or you can't do certain upgrades, like you can't do ascensions.
Don't get yourself get neither.
An ascension is like upgrading past a certain point. I think going from like +5 to +6 is an ascension. I can't recall after that because every game is different, so we'll have to see. But I'm going to use all my hard souls so we can level up this scythe as much as possible. Because we already leveled up dexterity, which is the scaling stat for the scythe. So you can level up your dexterity. That makes you do more damage with your scythe, but you also need to level up the weapon itself to do more damage as well. So that's what I'm doing here. Looks like we need 3 Titanite shards, so I'm gonna go buy at least that. Go get our scythe to +5, which is I think all we can do at the moment. I mean, I think we need like large Titanite shards, which he doesn't sell. It disappears too, so I don't even know if we can do any more at that point. We'd have to ascend it, I think. So I mean, we'll check that out some other time. But right now I'm cool with it being +4 or +5 or whatever we got it at, because it was at +1. So it's way better already. But let's go ahead and do our shield also. I'm going to go ahead and buy 10 of these, because I think that's around how many it takes to get to +5 or 4. And let's do our shield also, since we're going to be using that for a long time. The Grass Crest shield. I'm only using the spider shield at the moment for the toxic blow dart guys, because there's still a couple more in Blight Town that we need to deal with. So we're going to level up the Grass Crest shield, because that's what we're going to be using for the majority of the game.
Don't get yourself getting either.
Then I guess we're done.
Leader.
Oh yeah, let's buy the armor smith box also. That way we don't have to come back here for anything, at least for a little bit. Like, we will still have to come back to do ascensions and buy maybe some titanite shards or something. I don't know. We'll be coming back by here either way. We still need to go to Darkroot Garden. We got to kill Sif and the Moonlight Butterfly, and we got to go to Sen's Fortress. So we're going to be heading past Andre at least 2 more times. But that's good for now. Let's go ahead and reverse hollowing. We died at the end of the last video, I think. Yeah, the ogres knocked me off the edge. Seems like we always die at the end of the videos. That's just my luck, because it's like, oh, I need to hurry, I need to get done. I only got 5 minutes left. Let's try to cram in 5 more minutes of action, because I don't want this to be Bloodborne and go on for a whole year of 1 video a month type stuff. So I'm trying to cram in as much every video as I can, do 2 videos a week, so we can get this done in a reasonable amount of time, so the story continues at a good pace. So if somebody's actually following the playlist, then they know they got a whole hour right now to watch. And then Wednesday, another hour. And then Saturday, another hour. And then Wednesday, another hour. Like, it's going to keep going, instead of... With Bloodborne, you guys never knew when it was coming again. And it was usually like a month apart. You forget what happens. But I think a Wednesday and a Saturday right now is working perfectly for anybody that's watching the whole thing, which I doubt there's barely anybody. Maybe one other person than me, because I watch my own stuff, make sure, you know, I mean, I should, obviously, but you guys know I'm not like the best editor. Like, I'm not gonna cut out every time I clear my throat, or slow parts in the action. We're not there yet. I don't have enough time to do all that, and I'm just ignorant on editing video. People have talked about doing like a new intro or whatever. I never liked that. Like, if you look at Tacit and Loot Wizard, like which are 2 similar channels to mine, as far as Gems of War at least, neither one of them have an intro, like a video that's an intro that's like a 20-second long thing that they put at the beginning of every one of their videos. I usually don't like that when a channel has that. Like, there's a few exceptions, but a couple of my channels that I watch have added them recently, and I'm not really feeling them. One dude has like jungle music, the other guy has like EDM or whatever it's called. Like, you guys wouldn't like the music I would want to put at the beginning of mine. And, well, a couple of you would. I know a couple of you have good taste in music. Not that I do, but in my opinion, you do. Because I've clicked on your profile picture, you know, seen that you like certain things. I do that every once in a while, just to see who I'm talking to. Let's take a purple moss clump so we're not poisoned. Let's get all healed up. Let's summon Mildred here. Get to summon her. Now she's going to be on our side. Her name is Maneater. So everything we were talking about in the previous video, about the butchers and who's gonna eat the pyromancer, Laurentius, her name is Maneater, Mildred. She's gonna eat a man, and he's a man, and he's talking about getting eaten. So that's who I think he's talking about right there. Man-eater Mildred. Man-eater. She's eating men. But yeah, there's a boss right here, by the way. Quelagg. This is the boss right before the second bell. Ringing the second bell is the big quest in the beginning of the game. That's how you open Singe Fortress and get to Anor Londo. And where you get the ability to teleport between bonfires after you defeat Ornstein and Smo in Anor Londo. So we're getting closer to opening up the game even more. And this is like the major quest in the beginning of the game. This, you could call this the halfway point. Maybe the 40% point. Maybe not the halfway point. There's a lot of difficult areas still left. But here's the boss, Quelagg. Half spider. Half like lava spider. Half sexy witch lady. Pretty cool boss. Gives you a little smile. We got Mildred with us. My plan was to get Mildred to do most of the tanking, and I would just swoop in and do some damage. But Mildred's not cooperating. You want to watch out when it raises up like that. It's doing an area effect. The sword's kind of easy to dodge if you want to go that route. You could stand like right in her face, dodge back and forth between the sword, like rolling, and then get a couple attacks in, and then, you know, or you can block it. There's a lot of different ways to beat this boss, but she can also crush your face in, depending on what move she hits you with. Right there I got hit with her sword, so I'm gonna dip out. We'll let Mildred do some work, run back in, and I got nailed, dude. What the heck? I think it's because I was jumping. See, there's certain attacks in this game. There's, I don't even know how to explain it. You get hit for counter damage, basically. If you get hit with counter damage, it's like a critical hit. So, normally, I don't think that would have killed me if I was just standing there. But since I was doing like a running, jumping attack, and I got hit with it, it counted as like a critical hit. So I got a crit. I just got my butt crit. So, she just landed a critical hit on me. That's why I got one shot, basically. I'm pretty sure. Like, I was running and jumping in midair, and she hit me with that AoE, and I died. And I had almost full health. I think I was only missing like one bubble of health. So normally that doesn't happen. So that was just like a lucky critical hit by her, which can happen. So dying again, but hey, I don't, you know, like I always say, I don't mind. That's what separates the men from the boys. If you can make that run back and get your stain and dust yourself off and try again, then this game's for you. If you can't do it, you get mad and you just try to storm your way back quickly, and you don't get your stain and then you die again, it's probably not for you. You're gonna have a lot of trouble, at least. But let's go ahead and get Mildred again. That's why I make sure you remember to reverse your hollowing before you come back. So when you die, you're at the bonfire, reverse your hollowing at the bonfire, and then go back for your soul stain. That way you can get the summon again. I'm gonna try a different tactic this time. Maybe you guys could try it your first try. That way you don't die. But since you got a nice little lucky hit on me and killed me there, I'm gonna go ahead and use a safer tactic. That way we can get her beat on the second try. Maneater Mildred, our tank. We're gonna be the ranged DPS. I got my bow and arrow out. Now I don't think this worked as good as I thought it was going to, but it ends up, you'll see. Does it fail or is it successful? So I'm shooting here, trying to hit her body. So if you hit her naked body there, it does stagger damage. So if you can aim right with your bow and arrow and hit her, you can stagger her. I'm not too sure like how it works as far as when you hit the spider. So see, she's staggered. So that's good for Mildred too. So we can stagger her. That's good for Mildred. I don't think you can poison her, but look at this. Watch this right here. I wish I was hitting her in the face. But see how I staggered her 3 times in a row? That was really nice for Mildred to get some damage on. Get some damage on her and not get hit herself. She gets up in my face, so I have to roll away. It's kind of awkward when you're in that camera. The bow and arrow camera. So you have to get out of that as quick as possible. Mildred doing some work. Looking okay. She's got about 40% health. So we're going to keep trying to shoot. So I guess I'm doing damage as long as I hit the spider's body or her body. But here she comes. Ooh, right in the belly button. So that was a cool end. Got that last second shot right in her navel. But that's one way you can deal with her. I think if you hit her like right in the head, like her woman head, like it staggers her really bad. But you want to hit her at least in her body. If you hit the spider, it doesn't stagger. But if you hit the naked body, woman body, then it does stagger for like, you know, a split second. Or like a whole second. And then Mildred can do some work. Or even if you're by yourself, that helps. Because you can do it over and over and over sometimes. Like you could win the whole boss fight just by, as long as you get some really good timing on that stagger, you could just keep doing it over and over and over. Maybe use like some better arrows than I was. I think I was trying to poison at first and it didn't work, and then I was going with the wooden arrows. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. I can go back and look right now though. Hold on. Getting better at this editing thing. I can go back and look right now. Hold on. Yeah, I was using poison arrows, but it did not poison her. So I wish I wasn't now, because I wasted a bunch. But you could use like large arrows. There's other more powerful arrows, so I was using the weakest I was using poison arrows, which aren't the weakest arrow, but they weren't poisoning. So there's like large arrows would do way more damage. By like, just for example, feather arrows would probably do a little more. Especially since I was so close when I was shooting them. Large arrows do the most damage. I think other than like, of course there's like lightning arrows and fire arrows and stuff like that, but besides those, hitting like an enemy weak to that, I think large arrows do the most damage. You know, besides like Dragon Slayer arrows or whatever, like the huge ones that, I'm talking about just a regular bow and arrow. Large arrows do the most damage, as long as you're within a certain distance. If you get outside of that distance, then they start dropping off, because they're large arrows, and I don't know. So then you move to like the feather arrow, if you're really far away, and those do the most damage. But up close, like a normal range, like from me to that egg guy, large arrows are fine. But if it's like from me to that lava way over there, like probably only poison arrows would end up doing any kind of damage, because they would end up poisoning them. That's every video, I swear. Pronunciation time. Don't mess with these guys. So we just rang the second bell, by the way. The big giant pulled the chain, opened the gate. So Sir Onion moved on into Sen's Fortress now, so he shouldn't be at the gate anymore, I don't think. He's moved on in to Sen's Fortress. We can also do the same, but we're gonna go ahead and get our costume for the playthrough. It's right over here. We're gonna be a Grim Reaper Pyromancer very shortly. You noticed I touched that bonfire. That way, if we die, we don't have to go all the way back to the bonfire in the middle of the Blighttown swamp. Taking off all my equipment. There's an easy way to cheese this boss, and I swear it used to work way easier and better than it does now, which is fine. I think what's going on here, with my experience with the game compared to other people's and up until like now, is I used to play on the unpatched, vanilla, like original Xbox 360 as soon as the game came out. No patches. I used to play on that. That's what I used to play on. Like I wouldn't take it. I never took advantage of any of like the super glitched cheese things like Dragon Head, whatever. None of that, or soul duping. I never did any of the major glitches, so I didn't really care to upgrade or patch my game. So I think that's why I'm like, the Forest Guardians and some other things are different to me that wouldn't be different to other people, is because I played on the unpatched vanilla for so long. But right here, you used to be able to run by him without getting killed like that. But maybe you have to wait a beat. Maybe I'm wrong. It used to be easy to like run, because what you do is you grab that gold hemmed set, which is like an awesome Grim Reaper type black robe. You grab that and you just run back to the beginning of the boss fight, the fog, and the boss would just die because some sort of pathing glitch would happen where he would jump, grab onto the edge of the cliff, and fall or die or something. Like, I don't know exactly what happens, but he dies. As long as you sprint straight back to the beginning of the boss fight, like the fog gate, then he would just die. He would jump at you and then die, like he fell off a cliff. Like, that's what seems like happens. But the last few times I've tried that, it never works the first try. So it is what it is. We got our armor, so this is what we're looking to look like from now on. And I should have read the description, so sorry about that. Wanted to look down into Ceaseless right there. We're going to be going down there later. It's not just scenery. We actually get to go down there. But glad to get our armor, our robe. Alright, let's try this again. And if I had put the armor straight on, like as soon as I got it, we would have probably survived that blast. But once again, I think I got hit by critical. If you're running and you get hit, it's like a critical hit. But if you're like standing still and blocking, it's not. If you're, there's situations where you get critically hit. So I got critically hit again. So that's happened 2 bosses in a row. I need to quit doing that. See, that was like the same move and I didn't die. Of course, last time I was up close and I was naked and I was running. So like, triple whammy. But you can see with this armor on, I'm losing less than 3 bubbles of health. So I could take 2 of those easy. But let's go ahead and get by this. Go get our soul stain. Just heal up, man. Heal, heal, heal. Alright, full health. So I think we're good, because we know he can't one-shot us with this armor on. I also put the ring of sacrifice on, so if we die here going back for our soul stain, it would not disappear. We'd get to try to get it again. It would break our ring, but we would get to try it again. So that's why I put that ring on. That's the little humanity emblem there under our stamina bar. That means I have the Ring of Sacrifice on. So there we go, got our souls, which was a lot because we had just fought a boss. $20,000. But there he is. Now, if you sprint back to the beginning, so you gotta get like really far away from him. I think that's the key. You can't have him like right on your tail. You have to get him, like, make some distance between you and him. He needs to be back where the gold hemmed armor is, and you need to be at the fog gate, and this will work, I promise you. Even with like the death and everything, we still get it done relatively quick. But, you know, get as close as you can to the fog. There's some sort of pathing issue, or I don't know. But he'll jump at you, not make it. Hang on. You don't even need to hit him, I don't think. I think he just automatically dies, but I wanted to go ahead and act like I did a critical hit on him. Bang, look at that. Big boy crits. Got him back. That's payback. We spun the block. We came back. We came back to empty the clip and reload and empty it again. He did a crit to us, we had to do a crit to him. That's how it works, an eye for an eye. His sister crit us, so we came back and we bow and arrowed her face off. He crit us, so we come back. We did the same. Now we got 40,000. 40,000 souls, that's pretty good. That should be at least 3 levels at this point, since we've leveled up quite a bit. Let's go ahead and reverse our humanity. There's no boss, or there's no co-op opportunity there with Ceaseless, so that's why I didn't worry about being human. Usually that's the only reason I worry about being human, is to make sure I get all the co-op opportunities with the NPCs, just for fun. It's fun to see Maneater Mildred help you with Quelagg. But here I'm going to up my intelligence so I can talk to the apprentice. And I'm going to up my attunement so I can have 2 pyromancies equipped, because we're going to start using that pyromancy soon. Was not a good idea here because Quelagg is fire and Ceaseless is fire, so there's nothing we could do. It would just tickle. You can't use fire on a fire boss. That doesn't work. You would want to use what on a fire boss? Like water magic? There's no such thing in this game. So you probably want to use lightning. Poison didn't work on her, so I'm guessing lightning or magic. Maybe magic. That's all the elements there are in this game. So you have fire, lightning, magic, and poison. And I think like chaos or something. Chaos is kind of different though. It's like you take damage to give out more damage type thing. I don't think people are weak to it. Maybe bosses? Nah, I don't know.
Oh,
yeah, I think they're...
What have we here? Are you a new servant?
Yes, I am.
But you have no eggs. Ah, no matter. Go along and have audience with our fair lady. I pray that you will mind your manners.
Burp, fart, burp, fart. So, yeah, just say you're part of the Covenant, so you can get by that guy. You can't talk to her unless you have the ring. There's a old witch's ring or something. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I just wanted to get access to her. Join her Covenant. Get the, there's a achievement for finding the Covenant. We got Pyromancy, Great Chaos Fireball. That's a good one. Any of the Great and Chaos Pyromancies are really good. So that's a really powerful pyromancy. I think we can use it already.
Are you prepared to dedicate yourself to our fair lady? Then I will make available whatever you require. If you need something, ask me first. There is no time for idle chat. Think only of our fair lady and what she may need. There is nothing to say to you, except if you lay a hand on the fair lady, you should be prepared to face my wrath.
His wrath.
There is nothing to say to you, except you should...
He will fight you, though. He will fight you. So... I don't know. There's the Chaos Witches. Quelagg's one of them. Fair Lady's one of them. There's another one, Quelagg or something. She's outside in the swamp, invisible, and you have to like make her appear. And then Ceaseless was a brother. So they're all one family of like witches, pyromancers. Like at the beginning of the game when that cinematic played, they were the witches of chaos or whatever. But she's being poisoned, so Fair Lady's poisoned in here. She's the Covenant leader. Quelagg's like guarding her, taking care of her. We killed her, and so we killed the person taking care of that old sick lady. But it's all part of a quest, and it's kind of convoluted and it's hard to figure out, but I'm gonna try to figure it out. If I don't, no big deal. We'll do it some other time. I'm not totally worried about it. The only thing I want is to get like the high level pyromancies, and to have access to that you have to get Quelagg to appear, and to get Quelagg to appear you have to do everything right in here, which I don't know if this was I don't know if I should have killed those. I don't think it matters. I hope not. If it does, oh well. Like I said, oh well. That's how I'm gonna label this playthrough as oh well. Oh well. We just want to beat the game, really. But it'd be cool if we could get like all the top-notch pyromancy. Maybe get that whole quest done with Quelagg and Quelagg and Fair Lady and Witches of Islith or whatever they're called. So, I don't know. I was going to try to put that on and maybe use some pyromancy, but then I just never did. So I don't know why I did that. Just putting my equipment back on, pretty much. I was thinking about using pyromancy on these guys, though, but I didn't. Just to try it out. Like, I should have attuned that great chaos fireball, because that's pretty good. You throw a fireball and it like explodes and makes lava on the ground. It's pretty awesome, because then it does damage over time, like an area effect. An area of effect dot. Like it hits, you throw it, it hits them, does like a initial direct damage, and then lava like pours out on the floor around them. And as long as they stand in it, they get hit for damage over time as well. And it's an area of effect damage over time, because there could be 3 mobs standing in it getting dotted. So it's kind of like a cloud, but it's not. It's like a lava on the ground. Kind of like the boss just did. She was doing the same thing. She was doing chaos pyromancy. She was making a big puddle of lava, and if you stand in it, you get hurt. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty useful in some parts of the game, like a couple boss fights where they're big and slow and stand in the same spot. You can throw one of those chaos fireballs at them and it'll make lava right where they're standing, and then do extra damage over time after hitting them with the initial direct damage. So it's pretty good. Actually, pyromancy is really good in this game. I'm not even going to downplay it. That's why we use it on the SL1 playthroughs. It's almost OP. But any kind of magic can be OP. If you get to the very top of any magic tree, you got SunlightBlade with miracles. That's really awesome. You got like crystal magic weapon or whatever with the magic pyromancies, and like soul spears, and there's some really big really big magic spells you can do with the magic sorcery line. So they all have their big powerful spells that are OP. So it's not like pyromancy is the only one. It's just easier to get it, I guess. It's easier to become a powerful pyromancer than a powerful sorcerer in this game, I guess. These guys are pretty tough. Like, they'll throw a boulder at you from a mile away and just knock you down. And it hits really hard if you're not prepared, and maybe you don't have enough health, or you're running, like I always say. You're like running to the boss and you get hit in the side of the head with a huge boulder, like, and one shot kills you because you get critical hit because you're running. Like happened to me twice in this video already. These things are so annoying. Those little mosquito bugs. Because they keep coming. Like, they never... You could stand there and kill them all day. They don't drop souls. So you can't, like, farm them. I thought I heard something. I probably did. Neighbors going in and out. So you can't get rid of them, basically. They just keep coming and coming and coming and coming. And they don't give you souls, or else you could stand there and just kill them all day and somehow farm souls. Like, probably like AFK even, but they don't drop souls, I don't think, because that would be what would happen. Somebody would put on some sort of spell that, I don't know, somebody would figure it out to where they could infinitely farm souls off of them. Because that's the stuff I try to figure out in games. I like trying to figure out stuff you can do, like AFK. Like in Neverwinter, I figured that out. With like you go to a certain spot in a certain zone. Which Neverwinter is like a MMO that's free to play. That's not the best one ever, but it's okay. I found out that you could go in a certain part of this certain zone with your pet out, and your pet could kill the mobs, and if you stood in this one spot, you would have access to 3 different mobs that would aggro you. And if you spaced it out the right way, like one would aggro you, your pet would kill it, the next one would aggro, your pet would kill it, and then the next one would aggro, and your pet would kill it. So like every minute you had something aggroing you, and your pet would kill it. And it wasn't fast, obviously, but it's something you can do. You don't even have to be there. You're AFK. Like, I did a whole video on it, like describing how to do it. And I don't know if it's possible anymore, but got another pyromancy there. Some sort of mist. Those are like not the best. There's like a poison mist and like a toxic mist. One of them poisons, obviously, and the other one like damages their armor or something. Which they can both be used, and they can both be used, but not a lot of people do it. Like poison mist, like I'd rather shoot poison arrows than get up close to somebody. I mean, you could like poison mist and then maybe drop back and shoot poison arrows and like get them poisoned faster. But it's hard to like have all that ready to go unless you're specifically trying to do that. Like, I don't really see people using... I don't know though, because I haven't done much PvP in this game. I don't know what other people do, but I've never myself used poison mist very much. Maybe I will this time though, you never know. Maybe I'll try it out. I pretty much see myself using Great Combustion and Chaos Fireballs and stuff, though. Blow fire in your face up close and throw lava fireballs from far away. These guys are actually decent to grind on, to farm, because they drop large shards and I think green shards. So they have a chance at dropping large shards. I think normal shards and green shards. Like there's 3 different shards they drop, which the best one obviously is the large shard, because that can get you all the way to like +9 or something. I can't remember exactly. I think in this game you do go to +20 with your weapon, or +15 or something. So we got all the way to +5 with just normal Titanite shards. So then to get to +10 you have to use large shards, or at least +9. So that's why you would stay here and farm this if you're trying to get to like +10 with your weapon. So you could kill all these things and then bone back to the bonfire, and they would respawn if you hit the bonfire. Come back, kill them all again, bone back or run back, whatever you want to do, and keep doing that over and over. But you might want to have the rusty iron ring. That's another thing I wanted to talk about in this video. I forgot to go ahead and go to the asylum first, so we're not using the rusty iron ring, which would help us run through this poison easier, which most people don't do that anyway. It might be the way you're supposed to do it, though, because what else are you going to use that ring for? I mean, we will be coming back here, but not... like, there's 3 NPCs here that we need to come back and see. There's 2, and then there's one that we could if we don't want to kill him and get his ring. I'm trying to think of their names. Solaire comes here, I think. No, Sigurd. Is it Sigurd or Solaire? I think Sigurd comes here. It's part of his quest line, or Siegmeyer, whatever his name is in this one. He's in a couple other games, and he's called Sigurd in one and Siegmeyer in the other. Either way, Sieg is here. If you do his quest line right, he'll be here at some certain point, standing in the poison. You have to give him poison. You have to give him purple moss so he can get out of here. So you have to help him out, give him the moss, and that's part of his quest line. Also, there's Quelagg. It's going to be with our higher level pyromancy, to level up our glove extra, to get our extra good chaos pyromancy spells. We have to make her appear. She'll be here. She sits near the entrance to the Quelagg fight, a little bit, you know, off in the poison near a pillar. Do I get that item over there? I hope I do. I think I do. Yep. And then there's the I don't know his name, but he's in the forest, and I think he drops the Marakumo, but he's like a samurai dude in the forest next to the cat for the Forest Covenant. If you talk to him, and do the right things, he'll be here as well, under that big wheel, the big water wheel that's over there, that leads up to Firelink Shrine. He'll be over there standing under that, and you can buy stuff from him, talk to him, and the ninja guy will be there too with the flippy ring. But that's if you don't kill the ninja to get the flippy ring, which I always do. Not always, because I've seen them come here before, so it's not like always. Like I've seen them be here before, and I've talked to them here just to get that. Like, I feel like I've done everything at least once. Besides, what did I say last time that I never did before? But I saw it once. Oh, the worm. The worm up above here. I've never, like, got killed by it. That's kind of a different thing. But these guys are pretty easy to kill with bow and arrow. But yeah, like I said, you can farm them for green shards. Maybe you got a divine weapon because you went to the catacombs and you did it the right way, like not like me. Like maybe you already killed the moonlight butterfly and got your divine ember, gave it to Andre, upgrade your you're trying to upgrade your weapon and do divine path, which is another form of like element that you can use on your weapon. Divine, I guess, it's good against undead. There was another one I was gonna say, occult. I guess there's more than I initially thought. Not that I initially thought, but I was gonna tell you. Like I was like, oh, there's just fire and lightning and magic. That's all there is. But there's also occult, divine, chaos. So there's a few of them, but they're just like 2 or 3 of them are just a weird ones that a lot of people don't even use. Like occult, nobody uses that. Occult, that's like to kill gods or something. I think it's really good against like 1 or 2 enemies or bosses in the game, but that's about it. And it's mostly involved in like a storyline and lore, and not to use as a weapon. Like somebody had an occult weapon and was planning on killing a god. You know, it's part of the lore of the story. But it can be used, but most people don't use it. It's kind of like chaos. It's powerful, but it's also difficult to use because it drains your health at the same time as it gives you extra attack. So it's hard to use because you have to have, like, you know, you're losing health the entire time. But there is a ring that can give you health also, so it doesn't totally counteract it, but it helps a little bit. So you kind of have to make a build based around that. You can't just pick it up and say, hey, I'm gonna be chaos. No, you gotta like think about it beforehand and plan to use it, mostly. But I was gonna cut it there at the Great Hollow, which is a secret area, by the way, that I didn't mention as we were going through invisible walls there, secret areas. But it's a completely secret area that, it's a side path, you don't have to go do it. But it is involved with, Siegmeyer's quest. So you would have to go there to complete to go to the very end of his quest. And there's a ton of good items in the Great Hollow, but it's also very treacherous. You can fall to your death. It's basically gravity is the worst enemy in there because it's like a bunch of tree root. It's like a really big tree, and all these tree roots or branches are going down, and it's like a really big. You're at the top of the tree, so you have to like follow the tree branches down, and they're really like narrow walkways, and you gotta jump from one to the other, and it's like a maze. So it's kind of crazy in there, and you can fall. Like I'm probably gonna fall and die at least once in there. But hey, this has been a good video so far. We're done with Blighttown pretty much. Like we only have to come back here to talk to like 2 people and go to the Great Hollow. That's it. So still be worth it to maybe go get that rusty iron ring to put it on for that. Maybe to fight the Hydra. Maybe there's some stuff in the DLC I don't know about that's has a ankle deep water. But yeah, we beat Quelagg. Rang the second bell. That's the major quest in the game at the beginning of the game. So we got that complete. Rang both bells. Killed Quelagg. We killed Ceaseless Discharge. Got our armor that we were planning on using. So now we're fully decked out Grim Reaper Pyromancer. Pretty much. We just gotta fine tune it and master it. Get our awesome pyromancy going. Get our scythe on fire. Stuff like that. Like we have our scythe and our robe. That's the main 2 components. Right here. Do not roll too early on the water wheel. Lesson of the day. Do not roll too early on the water wheel. It seems like you should, But you kind of want to wait till you're at a weird, like, wait too long. Waiting too long's better than jumping too early. And the reason I'm going up there, I mean, that's the way out, first of all. That's how you get out of here. Second of all, there's a whole... We're not completely done with Blighttown, because there's a little tiny section up there, above the water wheel, that we need to get done. There's a Firekeeper soul or something up there. So we could upgrade our Estus Flask to +2. So you see next to my Estus Flask, where it says 20, if you look to the right of that, there's some tiny print that says Estus Flask +1. Well, that's kind of like your weapon. You upgrade your weapon to +2, +3, +4, +5. You can do that with your Estus Flask. I forget how high you can go. It's at least +5. And, I think it's +10, but it's at least +5. But that's how you do that. You get a Firekeeper soul, you take it to a Firekeeper, they reinforce your Estus Flask. They're the only ones that can do it are Firekeepers. There's only like 2 of them in the whole game. 3 of them. I think the Fair Lady counts as one. But there's one of those, a Firekeeper soul, up in this little side path. And it's pretty dangerous too. There's dogs shooting fire, there's toxic blow dart dudes, there's these stupid mosquitoes flying around, there's gravity, because you're on like a narrow branch before you get there. So you got toxic blow dart guys shooting at you as flaming dogs are trying to burn you, as gravity's trying to pull you down. There's 2 different ways to go. You can either go... There's actually 3 different ways to go. You can go this way across this branch, and there's a little tiny area over there with like a cool robe and like something else. And then you can go up the way we went to the ogres, where the ogres killed me, and where I went to Firelink Shrine, like the back way to get in. You can go that way, so that's the second way you can go. And there's a third way where you go like up a little bit higher and to the right, but not... It's like to the center. So you can go up and to the left, you can go up into the center, and you can go to the right. So this is up into the center, right here. So there's a bunch of these blow dart guys, like 3 or 4 of them at least. And then there's a Firekeeper soul back here. So that's the last thing we need to do here before we move on for now. Then we'll come back later to talk to, like, you know, Sigurd and Quelagg, and go to the Great Hollow, Ash Lake. Which Ash Lake is behind... You go down the tree in the Great Hollow, and then you make it to Ash Lake, which is like a dragon. There's a dragon covenant, and another Hydra, and some more resources. Like, there's really good upgrade materials in the Great Hollow. As you go down the branches and somehow survive, you get a bunch of awesome upgrade materials. There's something else there too, like a cool ring. I think a stamina ring or something that goes well with the stamina shield, if I remember correctly. But we're almost done here. Please like, share, subscribe, comment below to talk about it, and I'll see y'all next time in part 9. We're gonna get this Firekeeper soul. Peace.